My name is Juan Piñeiro, Extension Dairy Specialist with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, and today we have the pleasure to have with us Dr. Benjamin Newcomer. If you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, I'm BJ Newcomer. I am the dairy veterinarian at Vero, which is part of the College of Veterinary Medicine at Texas A&M, and I work with a lot of the dairy producers here in the Panhandle. And we also have two fourth-year veterinary students, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name is Hiatt. I am a fourth-year veterinary student at Texas A&M, and we are on the dairy vet rotation.
I'm Fetters, and also a fourth year at Texas A&M.
So today we'll be talking about management practices that are important with regards to prevention of metritis, and one key area is the maternity area in dairies, right? So we'll be talking about best calving management practices, when to intervene and how to intervene. So with regards to when to intervene, it's very important that we understand stages of parturition. So could you guys explain how many stages of parturition there are and how they are characterized?
Absolutely. So there's 3 stages of parturition. The first one is preparation, the second stage is expulsion of the calf, and the third stage is expulsion of the fetal membranes. So in the first stage, preparation, there's 2 categories of changes that we see. The first is what's happening in the cow's body to prepare to give birth. One of those changes that we look at is loosening of the ligaments. This will give the appearance of a dropped tail. You also begin to see dilation of the cervix and vulva, and you may see some mucus discharge. The other change you often see is her udder will begin to fill up with colostrum, and some of that may begin to leak out. The second category of changes that we see during preparation is behavioral changes. So the cow may be restless, standing up more, laying down. She may be off of feed, and she may be standing away from the other cows, isolating herself.
Stage 2 is characterized by the expulsion of the fetus. One of the most important things to look for is abdominal contractions in this area of the cow. One of the other things you may see is a water bag here in the vulva area or a feet coming out. It's important to notice for the abdominal contractions though, because with some presentations like a breech, you won't actually have the water bag or feet coming out in all the presentations. The third stage is characterized by expulsion of the fetal membranes. That's the placenta that's coming out of the vulva after the calf is already on the ground and can occur up to hours after the calf has been out.
So the importance to understand these 3 stages of parturition is because one of the criteria with regards to when to intervene is total time in stage 2, right? So in dairies we have employees checking pens, and that frequency should be not longer than every 1 hour. And they are writing down all these observations, right? So they write down if they see a cow with a water bag, they write down the ID and the time. If they see some fetal parts, they will be writing that, okay? So we know that stage 2, for instance, on cows, it takes on average 1 hour. And if we see some cows that have been much longer than that, 2 hours in stage 2, then those may be cows that we need to bring to the chute to check. However, a more important criteria, because the beginning of stage 2 is very difficult to determine if we are checking every one hour, right? So perhaps an even more important criteria is total time without progression. And we want to see every 15 minutes some sort of progression, at least 1 inch, that the calf is being expulsed more. So say if an employee goes at 1 p.m. and he sees only part of the hoof out, and then goes again at 1:15, he should go, once he finds an animal in stage 2, he should start increasing that frequency of checking to every 15 minutes, and he doesn't see any progress at 1:15, and then goes again at 1:30 and doesn't see any progression, then he should bring that cow to the chute to be checked. One last criteria to decide when to intervene is an obvious abnormal disposition. So going back to the example we were talking about today, breech, if we see a tail that is coming out of a vulva, that means that that cow has to be brought to the chute immediately for assistance. If we do need to intervene, then we need to know how to intervene. And the most important aspect here is to think first in safety of the people doing it and also of the animal. So making sure we have appropriate restraint of the cow and also personal protective equipment or PPE. So guys, if you would like to explain what PPE we need to use.
Absolutely. So protective personal equipment is very important. The first thing we have here is an apron on. You're also able to use coveralls, but this apron is pretty nice because if you do get fetal membranes or any of the calf fluids on you, it's pretty easily washable. The other thing we have Haley demonstrating right now is the goggles. These are very important to prevent different diseases spreading like brucellosis and leptospirosis if they are present in your cattle herd. Those are important because your mucous membranes, like your eyes, can allow contamination and actually infect you as well. The next thing we're going to demonstrate is putting on palpation sleeves. So she's going to put on a sleeve on either arm. Next, we're going to try to make holes and make sure these stay up on her arms.
So this is very important to make sure that when they work, they're working comfortable. And this is a nice way to make sure we have the OB sleeves all the way on the top of the shoulders.
So this keeps her palpation sleeves up at all times. Next, she's actually going to put on another pair of regular gloves on over the palpation sleeves for two big reasons. One is it's an extra layer of protection to prevent any contamination of her own arms during the dystocia correction. The other important characteristic is it decreases the amount of air in her fingers and allows better contact with her and the calf.